Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. Pod Up, because we are Gator fans. So say it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. It's Thursday. You know what that means, folks. That means we got the good old Buddy Martin from the Buddy Martin Show. We normally have Trent Whittemore on Tuesdays, but since it's the bye week, we're going to let Trent have the bye week, heal up. Hopefully he'll be ready to go for the Georgia Bulldogs. We'll have him next week, Georgia week for sure. But first, let's head to the Titan MR hotline, and we're joined by the host of the Buddy Martin Show. You can check that out Monday through Friday on Facebook Live about 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Buddy Martin, good morning, buddy. How are you?
Good morning, Shane. I'm doing okay. And by the way, boy, what a hot show last night. We got kicked off, and it was interesting. And by the way, a message from Frank Frangie. He said once you left the show, he said, "Tell Shane my favorite Shane is an angry Shane." So he thought that was funny.
Yeah, well, I was fired up yesterday for multiple reasons. First off, before we get into the Gators, if you missed it last night, the Red Sox take a 2-1 lead over the Houston Astros. And, man, what a good Monday night game. I fell asleep. But the Titans stopped the Buffalo Bills, who I think is the best team in football. That goes to show you in the NFL, it's crazy. But the Titans beat the Buffalo Bills last night. Yeah, buddy, it was not a good performance in LSU. You know, I know you got a lot of thoughts. You've written some articles. You've had your show last night. I know people want to get rid of Todd Grantham. I understand that. They want a quarterback change. I understand that. And I agree with both to a degree. But what I said on your show last night, and I don't know if I said it on my show yesterday, but I did say it on Steve Russell's show. I do so many damn shows, I forget what I say.
Got so many shows, Shane. Yeah.
So if you want a different quarterback, folks, you may want some different defensive players as well. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you said that on my show last night, and I've been looking over the roster trying to find those players, and I'm not sure who they are. So I don't know exactly which ones. They need more bulk. Obviously, we could talk about it if you'd like, but there's something, as they say, endemic with this situation. And before I get too philosophical about this whole thing, I know Gator fans are angry, and they should be. I get it. And it's kind of like one of those things in politics, they call it kicking the can down the road, which means that when you have a big hot issue, comes before a county commissioner, city council, whatever, and they don't want to handle it. And they just keep putting it off another year, 2 more years, another election cycle. They kick the can down the road. And the question I have, and by the way, I've liked Todd Grantham's defense at times. At times it's borderline genius, okay? But clearly something is amiss, and they've kicked the can down the road one too many times. And when you get embarrassed or even humiliated, like this defense did, and we played that clip from Coach Spurrier last night. Do you play the goal line defense at the 50? You got to do something. And so what that is and how it's done, I'm not sure. I'm not a big believer in being angry, making angry decisions. Dan Mullen doesn't do that. He may take his time about this, but there has to be some changes. And while it won't be an insurrection for the Gator fans, they're going to start losing the fan base a little bit if they're not careful. So I don't know, Shane, what do you expect to happen?
I don't really know, buddy. There was some video of, people breaking down. On Twitter nowadays, you can have all these people breaking down plays because they get pictures. I don't know where they get all the film from.
I don't either. Yeah.
They had one of them running the counter tray against us. And, buddy, it was a clinic. It is like what you take to a coaching clinic and show this is how it's supposed to be blocked. And we are getting mauled. And nobody – I'm going to send it to you, buddy. Nobody can get off blocks. And that's where I have a problem is people can talk about the schemes, this, that, and the other. And I know former players talk about it. But here's the bottom line. Don't get your ass blocked, right? Make a play. And we had nobody making plays. So that's why if people want to make a change at quarterback, I think some of those other people need to look themselves in the mirror on defense. And maybe we need to make some I wish I could post it on here. I may send it to our wonderful producer and see if he can post this play on there.
Evan can do it.
Because it's unbelievable. I'll have to maybe try it at the break. But so I don't know what's going to happen, buddy. I just I know fans are disappointed. We all are. But we have not been – I mean, we've lost a bunch of football games recently. I mean, we're 8-4 last year, and we're 4-3 this year. Yeah. That's 7 games. I don't know how many – seven losses. That's too many.
Yeah, Dan Mullen is better than that. He's not. He's 4-7, I believe. You count the last 3, 4-3 now, and then 0-3 at the end of the season, and that's not a good record for anybody, let alone a guy. And by the way, just for the record, let me go on record saying I'm a Dan Mullen guy. I don't want him to leave. I think he's done some great things on offense. And let's be honest. Back in the outcry 4 years ago, when they were saying, "What do we do? What do we do? We're going to score points. We're going to get the offense." He did that. He did that. But what's the breakdown? And by the way, he hasn't been perfect. I lay the loss at his feet for the Kentucky game. That shouldn't have happened. I don't care. They were not ready to handle the snap count, the snap count, in a crowd. And Commonwealth's not even a big crowd. It's not in the stadium, and they weren't ready for it. They couldn't handle it. And I put that, the players didn't know what to do. They were lost. They kept jumping. The center, now we don't have to replay it, but you know what happened? The center didn't get the snap count, and it was a bad look. And that was a winnable game. And in fact, Shane, why don't we kind of break down some of those losses we know about last year? A freak game against LSU. Good job against Alabama. Couldn't get it done, but better than anybody else did against that team. And, of course, opting out against Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl. Now we start off with, 2 wins and get to Alabama. And by golly, everybody's ready to hang up the scalp and say, hey, we got a moral victory, played great, we were happy with this. And then they fall asleep at the switch on offense and can't get lined up right in offense and have these illegal motion penalties, which kills them. They still could have won that game. And then going into Baton Rouge like that, to play in Baton Rouge, and I'm with you on this, starting also slow. That's the one criticism, the 2 criticisms of Dan I have. 1, they start too slow on offense. And 2, I believe when you have a chance to score, you score, which, by the way, he did that before the half this time against LSU with that Hail Mary. And the other one, of course, was the Kentucky game where they killed the clock with 3 timeouts to go and took the timeouts in his pocket to the locker room. So that's on Mullen. Mullen's a really good coach. I wouldn't want anybody else to be the head coach, but clearly, and I've supported, Todd Grantham, and you said this. I'm sorry for going off so long, but you said this, and I'm going to repeat it many times. You worried about the size and the space taken up by the defensive players. Did they have enough? They got the transfers. They played better. They aren't matched. And as someone said, I think it was Channing Crowder, said, when you got 600 pounds of beef coming in front of your face, they're probably going to be running the ball, probably going to the counter trade that they ran. So there you go. I don't know what to say, but there's going to have to be some changes, Shane.
We got a couple of Facebook Lives here I want to read. Kemp says, why don't we just load the box with 8 or even 9 and make Johnson throw the ball? Well, here's what happens. When you do that and when they throw a bunch of touchdowns, people are going to be complaining about why are we blitzing? Why are we loading the box? Why are we letting them throw it? We did. I mean, we did load the box one time, and he threw a post right behind us for a touchdown. Dan says,
wait a minute now. Your own coach said that. Sort of. You're Coach Spurrier.
Right. But my point is, you expect your guys to make plays every now and then. So my point. You put 9 guys up there, that's easy throwing.
But Shane, you don't have to do it every play. You
don't. But as a coach, buddy, you expect your players to eventually make a play. I mean, think about it. We got blocked, and I'm trying to get this video posted for people to see it. Like I told you, it's a clinic by LSU, a clinic. Joseph.
Well, it was such a clinic that their head coach got fired.
So he got fired before. He got fired before.
I know, but that's my point is that, and then ironic that the guy got fired was the guy who won the game. Ironically, whatever the deal was. And I hear you. You know football. I don't know football that much.
Well, I'm just saying, buddy, my point is you've been doing sports talk radio a long time. Okay. People, what they talk about last year, we could not defend the pass, right? Okay. No. So if we load the box and we allow a kid to throw at ease, people are going to complain. Why are we doing that? It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. I mean, bottom line is, regardless of what you think about Todd Grantham, players have to make plays.
I get it, and I agree with you. But here's the deal: you can't get in the same base defense every time when they're beating your brains out. And the one thing I liked about
that's the thing is, I don't know if we lined up the same way. We all talk. We all sit here. My point is, we don't know what adjustments were made, okay? Because we were not on the headset. Here's the bottom line, too. Every team I've been on, the head coach knows what's going on with the plan before the game, during the game, and at halftime. All he has to do is say, blitz the crap out of them, or do this or do that. So obviously he had no problem with the plan is my point. And I would like for you to ask Coach Spurrier that next time you meet with him, how many times, if a team was just methodically moving the football, if he said, blitz their ass? Because I know he did.
Right. Yes, he did. And that's what – let me just say one thing real quick before you go there. Can you wait 1 second? I want to get a point in real quick. And that is Todd Grantham. What I liked about his defense was the multiple looks he gave a quarterback. Shane, you know that. It's hard to play against a defense that has multiple looks. When you line up and say, oh, who's coming? Is it a safety coming? What's going to happen here? Is it a zone blitz? What's going on? And I liked that about them. But somehow or another, and maybe Dan changed it, that was a different looking defense to me, at least. Okay. I just want to say that.
Brandon says, Shane, you spoke a lot yesterday about bigger fish to fry. One was the defense dressing the part as a team and personnel changes. I don't know our defensive personnel that well. What I was referring to, if you go back and watch the game, people, and this irritated me last year, we have a lot of guys on that side of the ball that people may think this is silly, but in the grand scheme of things, it's about being part of a team and being a team player. They wore different color socks, different color shoes, and I know that sounds silly, but watch any other team in America. They're all dressed alike. And watch the guys that were individually dressed, how they played. That's all I'm saying. They're all about themselves, in my opinion. That's my opinion. People can disagree with it all they want. I don't care. I'm just telling you, watch any other team in America, and everybody's dressed the same.
All right, what did Mullins see last year? Had a bunch of independent contractors on defense. I thought that was over.
Well, it's not because, buddy, they give you a uniform to wear. And we're the only play. So Evan says he's played it 4 times while I was talking. So I wish I could do my little ticker, but if you can see that, folks, there ain't nobody making a play and getting clobbered. So anyway, so let's see here. We got a million questions here. Chris says the other problem with our defense is they like to cross-train players. There's no such thing as a hybrid linebacker safety. Are we undersized? I've always said I thought we were undersized. Like I said, I don't know the personnel over there. I don't follow recruiting. All I know is we got mauled at the line of scrimmage. That's it. I mean, it's that simple. And have you seen that video yet, buddy?
No. Where is it? I've never seen it.
Well, I'm probably just gonna text it to you because I don't know how to.
Can Evan, is Evan there? Can he play it? He said he had it. And I asked
he's already played it like 3 or 4 times. But I'm going to send it to you. So you can watch it and talk about it tonight on your show. All right. So do you think Todd Grantham is calling the defense on Saturday against the Georgia Bulldogs, buddy?
Yes, a week from Saturday. Yes, I do think he'll be calling it because what are you going to change now? You're committed. In any other, this is a remote possibility, and please don't laugh at me, folks. I'm just saying it's been around football a long time. A couple of things could happen. Florida could get boat raced by Georgia, which it may well happen. Or you've been on teams all your life, there is that wounded animal syndrome. I've seen it happen before where the team's got no chance. And suddenly they all play the games of their lives and something goes right. But right now, I see this kid Bowers is tight end, scoring 8 touchdowns for Georgia. He is a beast. And Florida's got nobody to stop him in their secondary. And the tight ends always give them a problem in that regard. So, yeah, it's not good. He calls the plays. I think Mullen he may have not announced his Todd's last year. Maybe that would be an effective tool for him to get the team fired up. But it's there are games that could have been won this year that weren't. All right. Some of them are by coaching decisions. But when you boil it down, you look at the 3 losses. Alabama, extra point, 2-point play, winnable game, didn't get it done. Okay, so you mark that one off. Go to Kentucky, can't get the snap count right, still could have won the game. Then show up in Baton Rouge, obviously couldn't figure out LSU's going to run the ball. Duh. What does LSU always do? Find the defense to stop it. I don't care about Coach Spurrier. Put a goal line defense out there if you have to in the middle of the field. It was pitiful. That was disgusting, and fans are really angry, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, turn your car or truck into a rolling billboard for your business or brand with an eye-catching vehicle wrap from Wrap Spot. This October, mention promo code Shane, receive 13% off your vehicle wrap. Speaking of Buddy Martin here, we're going to give Trent the day off since it's his bye week. I know people want him out, but Buddy, you made a good point, or I think you did. Who would they even become the interim DC? I mean, who would you have call the defense?
I don't know.
Yeah,
honestly.
That's my point. That's our point.
I really don't know enough about the defense to say who. We had a bunch of people last night on the show. Boy, it was just a bunch of people on the show, which I guess is good for the show. Talk about who they'd like to see brought in. I've heard all the lists. I've heard 15 names mentioned. You know, Charlie Strong is he's not going to.
No, they're talking about right now.
Oh, right now. Well, the D-line coach, I guess, probably might be a good one. And I'm not sure I know enough about the defense because all I know is Todd Green.
I don't know if we have anybody to call. But Chris says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melon Law, the 4 turnovers lost us the game, not the defense. I somewhat agree with that. But we turned it over 4 times. 3 of them turned into 21 points. The defense only gave out 28.
The last play of the game was.
But I didn't say it. I said 3 of the turnovers turned into 21 points. Yeah, so that's only 28 that the defense actually gave up. They gave up a bunch of yards.
Our running back got 287 yards from the defense. That's not turnover.
I understand that. But again, go back and watch the tape. They ran.
I just watched the play. I just watched the play, by the way. Go ahead.
I know. And then the other 2 interceptions, they only had to go 10 yards. So just saying, I don't think we're great on defense, but offense didn't help us. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, but they got 40 and they get 42 points. They ought to win the game. Okay. They should. The defense should.
I understand that. But again, we scored 42. Well, we actually scored another 21 for LSU, the offense did. So actually we scored 63. We scored 63 on offense for them.
All right, I just watched that play 10 times. All right, watch.
Has anybody making a play?
No, and I'll tell you something else.
It's like we're on Velcro.
That's true. But the other part of that is they pull linemen every time. It was like USC student body right. They put 8 bodies.
Football. They've been doing it for 20 years.
That's my point. Why would you not get ready for that? When you play LSU, you know what they're going to do. They're going to run at you.
I think we're ready for it, but when you get clobbered like that, ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
Well, whose fault is that?
Well, it's a combination of both, in my opinion.
It's a combination of a lot of things, and you brought it up 100 times the last 2 years we've been doing radio together about getting bigger bodies. What's that big old 400-pound guy? I can't think of his name right now.
Desmond Watson. He
I don't care. Put him in there.
But the problem is all they're going to do is on that gap scheme.
I get it.
You and I could block him on a gap scheme, and I'm only up 200 pounds.
Shane,
because it's an angle.
Shane, your coach says if he's not getting the job done, get him out of there. Get somebody else in. Put another guy in. And if you're not making plays, which you're complaining about, what's we're making plays, then find somebody. What's wrong with D-Line Black? I don't know. He's not playing. He's a physical specimen. I don't know. There's other. I could give you names. People. There's nobody on here I could say could be because Tyron Hopper. I think it's a heck of a player. They were late.
He runs around. He looks like he tries. I like that.
He does, but they're late to bring him in. And then you got what big bodies do you have? What about Princely? What's happened to him? I don't know what this comes back to recruiting, which is what people complain about when they don't have the big bodies to play in LSU. When you got a defense that's built for speed, it's going to happen. And so whose fault is that? That has to be Dan Mullen's. It's his position. So, yeah, that's got to be fixed. So I'm not ready to throw out the baby with the bathwater here. Again, I love Dan Mullen. I think he's a heck of a coach. Some bad decisions were made, and there were some obvious deficiencies, not the least of which was the snap count, not be able to stop the basic counterplay, which LSU's been running since 1902, not be able to stop it. Those are bad decisions. Now, what will happen? What is this team? What's next? I don't know. I don't know who the defensive coordinator ought to be. I just know that was abominable what we saw.
Yeah, it wasn't great. There's no question about it. I got a text here on the Titan Mark text line. And we're switching over to offense here. He says, Shane, in your opinion, how much does it matter if one QB knows more of the playbook? Seems like limited playbook with AR is better than full playbook with Emory. Like I said, I don't know what they do, but watching the games, when Emory's in the game, I feel like they're trying to call the perfect play because as you see, everybody, after he gets everybody set, everybody looks to the sideline. And then he may run up to the line of scrimmage and change the play or whatever. Or they look to the sideline and then they run the play. When Anthony's in there, whatever they're signaled in, they run it. Now, whether that's they don't want him checking or I don't know, but that's just what my eyes tell me. So anyway, I think you're going to see Anthony play. I think he's got a chance to be really – I mean, we've all said that. Now, getting your first start against Georgia ain't the easiest damn thing in the world. But – Let me say this because I heard this on Frank Frangi's show last week, and he made a good point. Between Tebow and our quarterbacks now, take out Kyle Trask, Emory was having one of the better seasons since Tim Tebow.
Okay.
But I'm just saying that tells you how bad our quarterback play has been for years.
No, listen, we find about it for a long time, and we finally got a chance to see Kyle Trask.
I said take Trask out.
You're right.
We won't see anybody put up the numbers Kyle Trask or any close to Kyle Trask numbers because we don't have throwers on this team, and we're not going to run that offense again. I just think people need to realize that.
Well, that's kudos to Mullen. Here's a question I want to ask.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I want to say.
I wish he would go recruit some guys like Kyle Trask because I think that's the easiest way of winning in college football is throwing the football.
Yeah. Okay, well, a guy's strength is a guy's weakness. The strength of Dan Mullen is to take whatever quarterback he's got and make him his starter player and adapt the system to him. That's his strength. Now you're kind of saying in a way that's a weakness. You want more Kyle Trask back there. And maybe you're right. Maybe you can run that finesse offense. And certainly we saw the numbers. But at the end of last season, that kind of fell apart too in a way, not Kyle's fault. I think one thing I want to focus on is the loyalty of a coach. All right. To me, Urban Meyer's biggest problem, and I've told him this personally, forget about whatever the incidents were off the field, whatever, was his loyalty got him in so much trouble. When he stood up for players who got in trouble and he got himself in trouble because he stood by them. In a way, and I had a person inside the program tell me this yesterday, Emory Jones is a fabulous kid, and he stays and studies film all the time. He's always there trying to get better, working hard. He's waited 4 years. In Dan Mullen's heart, he feels for Emory, and he should. And I get that. And it feels a little bit, I'm sure, like it's a betrayal to start AR-15. I don't know. But the fact is, it's the business decision. Now it's got to be done. And so loyalty for a coach can get him in trouble. Loyalty to Todd Grantham, is that a good thing? I like it. I like loyalty. I admire that in Dan. But has that loyalty gotten Dan Mullen in a little hot water?
I mean, you can say yes. I understand him being loyal. I understand him, being hesitant to play Anthony at the beginning, especially against SEC teams. But now, people talk about what do you have to play for? Well, the only thing you have to play for now is the record that's going into the Gator football record book.
Yeah.
Do you want to be 8-4 and 8-4 again? So you got to do that. But I think he's going to play Anthony. That's just my gut feeling. I'm
When
sure
you say
Emory
play him, let's talk about what do you mean by play? Start him?
Yeah, I think he's starting.
He's got to make him his quarterback. Well, I don't care if it starts him or not. Make him his quarterback.
Right. But like I said yesterday, everybody wants to focus on the quarterback, but I think there are more problems outside the quarterback position on this team.
Without question.
Yeah.
Without question. But you know who gets the blame and credit. You played the position.
Right. But what I'm saying is people think by just starting Anthony, that's going to solve all the other problems.
Well, he is awfully
blocking up front.
He is very, very impressive. And I've said it before. He's the most dynamic young freshman quarterback I have ever seen in Florida. Does he know the playbook? No. Dan felt like he needed somebody who knew the playbook, get him in and out of bad plays.
See, I don't understand the whole playbook thing at all. Because I've been around football a long time, and I've coached it. What you do is you put the plays in that the kid's good at and don't call anything else. I mean, it's simple.
Right. It's true. It's a good point.
That blows my mind. And we probably, I mean, like I said, I wasn't in the headset. I wasn't in meetings. I just watched it from the booth. And we lined up in about 4 different formations the entire game and looked like we ran about 6 different plays with all the quarterbacks in there. So it ain't like it's down playbook this thick. It's not a West Coast playbook. So I
think it's getting in and out of the plays he's talking about. I don't think it's somebody not know he's done that. I think it's like getting in and out of the plays, which is easier.
He definitely doesn't do that when Anthony's in the game because Anthony doesn't even look at the sideline.
That's what I mean. That's what I think he likes to have the freedom to do that, to move between the plays. But I mean, what do you do when you're losing? Have a losing streak? You fire the quarterback. Whatever. You're a coach. Did that a lot. And I asked him in this interview for tomorrow about what you do. He says sometimes it has to happen like by fate. A quarterback gets hurt and somebody else comes in. Look, Danny Werfel, if you graded him on his practices, he wouldn't have started. He was not a good practice player at all. But put him in the game, he's a different player. So there's always the bright lights.
We had somebody ask a few minutes ago, how do we recruit players like Alabama and Georgia? That's the $1 million question.
That is a good question. Yeah, I don't know.
Like I try to tell people, Dan Mullen can take whoever into a kid's living room and try to convince them to come play here. But it's going to be up to that young man and his family to go play where they want to play. And if you really look at it, who are getting the best players in America? The teams that are in the 14 playoff about every year. So until we get there, and yes, the facility will help because we don't have that while everybody else does. But you got to win. You got to be playing in the 14 playoff. That's how you're going to get them. So until we get there, that's just my personal feelings. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't know that they're ever going to get there. Meaning you're talking about the greatest coach of all time. Okay? You're recruiting against the greatest coach of all time. You're not going to out-recruit Alabama. I think Kirby's done a really great job. He got the model from Nick, obviously. They've recruited people. I really like the way Kirby Smart is coaching this year. I watched him in several interviews. I'm impressed how he's handling things. He's got a quarterback nobody thinks can play, but he's getting the job done for him.
I've liked him since last year.
You have Stetson Bennett is doing a really good job on the field. I don't know what JT McDaniels will do. He's obviously got elite skills. So if let's be realistic, what can we expect out of the Florida football program? You're not going to knock Alabama off the perch. Georgia has the upper hand now, and this Saturday could be the first, unfortunately, a beatdown for the Gators, which ain't going to help their recruiting. So you don't turn a magic switch and say, okay, we're going to start recruiting great players. We're going to get the ones Alabama and Georgia. That's not realistic. So what do? You get the best you can get. You hope to have a strong fan base in Florida where players coming out of Florida want to play for the Gators. That's the way it used to be a long time ago. But then again, now some of the out-of-state players like yourself and Coach Spurrier have really been the ones who've gotten it done. So just saying we want to recruit. Well, I want a new Mercedes for Christmas too, okay? I'm not going to get it because I haven't got the money to get a Purdue Mercedes. So, yes, I think Mullen does a fantastic job with the transfer portal. He helped himself a lot this year. I like Dan Mullen, but there are times when certain things get exposed by your program, by your games. And this game exposed Florida for lots of things. Number one is the defense doesn't know what it's doing. I've had people tell me, I don't know this to be true. This is what people who close, not necessarily in the program, say the defensive players don't know what to do. They're told to do one thing that's not working, and they're trying to be obedient to their coach. It's not working, and they're frustrated. What can I do? I want to do better. I want to stop them. So that's a problem. And it could be that maybe Todd Grantham's defense was built mentally. I say his playbook's twice the size of Mullins. Maybe his defense is just too overwhelming. Maybe they're thinking too much instead of saying, there they are, sick them, go get them, and get players that fit that mold. You're not going to knock Alabama off their perch. You're not going to, you're probably going to get beat by Georgia. You're going to be 8-4. Maybe that's what Florida's program is right now. The question is, how do you change that?
Alan says on Facebook Live, some fans believe we should pay players like Bama and Georgia. That has not been proven and is illegal. Yeah, I don't know.
That's always the excuse there is. There's no excuse. I mean, look, I could go back to Coach Spurrier's days again. I won't, because I know it's not. That's like going back to 1920s. Look at some of the players he said. Some of the best players came from where? P.K. Young, for crying out loud, I mean, it is true. Look at it. They got P.K. Young players. You're right. So, yeah, it's recruiting. But, I mean, getting to all the 5 stars is not the answer, because Florida's had that under Urban. In that last 2 years, they weren't that good. And I even read someplace where, the recruiting was so terrible under Urban. Yeah, top 5 every year. You don't get it. You don't win it every year. And who's to say the Mullins that Kirby's going to win it this year? But you got to get better players. And you said it before. You said it again. You got to get better players. You got to get defenses. Got to get bigger. And yes, they do have to make some changes.
Chris says it's on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mount Law. It's because we have built a defense to have speed when we need bulk and strength.
I agree with that.
I don't see us looking fast. We don't look fast to me.
I don't think it's that kind of speed there, but people are built. I mean, Dexter looks the closest thing to a real physical freak that I see.
He looks the part, but he doesn't play the part.
Well, he made some decent plays.
Well,
you can't stuff the run. You got to stuff the run. Who you got to stuff the run with?
Well, you just said him.
Yeah, but I mean, that's one guy.
Well, you got the 2 transfers from Auburn and
all right, they're doing adequate, but they can't do it by themselves. I don't know. You're the one who said they haven't got the players, and I agree with that. I don't know where to go. How do you get it? Maybe you go hire the greatest defensive coordinator in the world, name him, whoever that is, and make a case. So we're paying this guy $2 million. Kevin's, I don't say it's Kevin Steele, but whoever the name is, say, all right, now we got the guy. We want to, and let him go recruit some of these big studs on defense. I don't know what else to do. You're going to have to make a change. You're going to have to get new players, bigger players in there. You said it for 3 years. You've been saying it, Shane. And you're right. I'm saying you're right.
Well, buddy, let me ask you this, because people talk about now in college football, you win with NFL players, right?
I guess.
Okay, so when you look, let's start on the defense. When you look, how many of those guys do you think will be? Not first rounds, just saying the first 3 rounds of the NFL draft.
Well, the first 3 rounds, the only guys I see there. I'll have to take a look at it.
I only have 2 in my mind.
Well, Zach Carter, I don't know if he'll go the first. He'll go in the first 3 rounds. I do think.
I agree with him. And then there's only
probably
one other.
Probably Elam.
That's it.
And then the rest of them that is hit or miss. I mean, Ventrell Miller would have probably been in there someplace, but he's not there anymore. He's gone. They don't have any more. I mean, I like Brenton Cox. I know he's not going to be a top 3. I think he's got skills, but he won't be drafted high and probably go, lower, even a free agent. But there's not a whole lot there on defense. But see, I don't always like to go by that, because sometimes
I know you don't. But I mean, you look at Georgia and you look at Alabama and you look at Ohio State. That's it is. But
I know. You asked me. I don't know the answer to that. I think it's some good-looking young players. The secondary kids are going to be good. I really like the way some of them are playing right now, but they haven't got enough together. They can't stop the damn run, Shane. When a guy goes through for 100 and a million yards on you.
Like I said, watch that video again and tell me.
I watched it 10 times.
Tell me if anybody's trying to get off a block.
I can't see the other offside of the ball. I can see the big tackles and guards pulling. I see
you can slow it down, buddy, and watch each position.
Yeah, well, I don't have to. I can see what I need to see. I see daylight. I see plenty of green. I see good guys getting bowled over. When you got a 300-pounder coming at you and you're a 200-pound defensive back, you're going to get hammered. And they're overloading that play unbalanced line. They're pulling the offside guard and tackle, and they're coming at your student body right. And they're bigger than you are and physically stronger than you are, and apparently wanted it more.
Yeah, but before we let you go here, I want to get your thoughts on what happened up at the Tennessee game with the fans.
That grieves me. That's a serious situation. They're really, really fortunate that they didn't get some people badly hurt. That was out of control. I've never been one to say, I always want to see the fans celebrate. And even the times I've thought, let them go on the field. I mean, there's times when, you say, look, how could you keep Texas A&M kids off the field? I mean, that's going to happen. But this was an angry crowd. And clearly both the officials and security had lost control. When you see the objects they threw down there, from the mustard bottle to the golf ball to whatever, and you see, and the fans are angry. And it's too bad because this was a setting where Tennessee football was starting to come back a little bit. You've been to say, yeah, this looks good. They're doing a good job. I like Josh Heupel. He's done a good job. They made a terrific game. And at the end, they just lost control of the crowd. You can't do it all with armed policemen. You can't go in there and strong arm people, or you'll have a riot on your hands. What if a full-scale riot had broken out in that game? And it could have, because in addition to the fact that that last 54 seconds took like 20 minutes to play, the longest 54 seconds I've ever seen in football. Mm-hmm. The fans came down from the top, and when they took the band out, the cheerleaders or whatever, and they moved down right on top of the field like they were ready to pounce. Imagine what might have happened had Tennessee pulled that game out. So it's really sad. I don't think $250,000 is nearly enough. I think they got to get hit. They should have been hit with $1 million at least, and they should have. Need to go back in the video and get the identifications of those people and find them and arrest them and to make a spectacle out of it. It's too bad because it sets Tennessee football back. It's one of the truly great venues, like it or not. 100,000 seats, Neyland Stadium on a Saturday night is an unbelievable setting. It was besmirched. It was ruined. It was disgraced to college football, and I am really angry about it.
Yeah, it's not a good look at all. Well, buddy, good stuff as always, my man. What about tonight's show and how they can check you out the rest of the week, and also Gator Bait?
Yeah, well, your friend Frank Franchi said, "How do I get your show? I want to watch it back. I want to see Shane. I wanted to see you last night, the party you missed. I almost put you guys up together. I thought about that. It's going to be our usual double coverage crew by Cassidy Hill, who's got a major announcement to make down the road someplace, and Graham Hall, who's a terrific young writer. They'll be on tonight with our usual crowd and our fans. And so you check us out. Buddy Martin Show, 9 p.m. right here on Facebook.
Last thing, we had a Facebook Live here from Tim. He says, who takes golf balls into a football game?
Yeah.
I was told by someone who lives up in the Knoxville area, they had the Top Golf deal, kind of how we have here at the Swamp.
Yeah.
And they feel like those, because it was like old range balls
that
were left over from that. So that made me feel a little bit better that it wasn't any premeditated stuff about taking golf balls.
Oh, I don't think it was premeditated. Tennessee fans can't think that far in advance. And by the way, one good thing about the water bottles, it debunks the myth that all Tennessee water bottles are old milk cartons with well water in them.
All right, buddy. Good stuff as always. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, Shane. Thank you, buddy.
That's Buddy Martin. Join us on the Titan MR hotline. Come back. We'll be answering some of your Facebook Live, your texts, and all that stuff. We got a lot of good conversation happening today. You're watching and listening to Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp. Comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics. Live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips. It's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Doreen Wiebe Realtor, Caldwell Banker, MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Wrap Spot, Okito America, Gators Dockside, Style Cuts, Big Mills Cheesesteaks. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Are you tired of being sidelined by nagging pain? Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Hall of Famer and Dance with the Stars champion. Happy to tell you about QC Kinetics and their biologic therapies for treating pain without drugs or surgery.
Are you suffering from chronic pain in your hips, knees, shoulder, or lower back? Are you tired of living with arthritis pain? QC Kinetics offers natural pain treatment that can repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints.
Listen, I know pain, and I've seen firsthand how powerful biologic therapies can be. Patients at QC Kinetics rave about their result because they're getting their lives back. They are getting moving again.
These exciting regenerative treatments used to be available only to pro athletes like Emmitt. Now they're available to anyone thanks to QC Kinetics. Call today for your free consultation.
Get long-lasting results from my friends at QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics 352-400-4550. In North Central Florida, call 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Celebration Point's where the Gators go to celebrate, where premium brands like Nike, Prom and Pearl, Regal Cinemas, Medici, Dave & Buster's, Skechers, and the HBCU restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Make your reservations today at spurriers.com. Now open Thursday through Saturday, Visors Tailgate Rooftop Bar. We'll see you at Celebration Point, where the Gators go to celebrate. We appreciate Buddy Martin for joining us on the Titan MR hotline. We'll try to read some of you guys' questions and comments here for the next 15 minutes or so. We got a text on the Titan MR text line. Comes from Daryl. He says, pregame warmups in the first quarter of the Georgia game will determine if these kids have thrown in the towel. I probably agree with that. Although I'm telling you, we let the game get away in the first quarter against LSU. With the field position we had, having the wind, we should have stuck the dagger in them right then. John says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Meldon Law, I want Mullen to be the guy. I truly believe he is a great play caller, but we can't keep going 8-4. That's not the standard. Yeah, I agree with that. The record against the Power 5 schools in the last 12, 15 games is not very good. Definitely needs – I don't know what the problem is. I know people are upset with Ty Grantham. I get it. I'm upset with the way we play on defense, with the effort. It's just not great effort. Guys get blocked too much. And hopefully you saw the video. If you didn't see the video of the counterplay that LSU ran, it's on our feed somewhere, and you can slow it down. And man, we're like on Velcro. It's a clinic by LSU. I will say that. That's one of those videos that the coach takes to the coaching clinic and says, this is how it's supposed to be done. But we don't have anybody trying to win or winning or getting off blocks, and that's what's disturbing to me. I want to get to This Day in Sports. It's brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. Comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. Comfort Temp's not hiring team members with all levels of experience. Great culture and benefits and opportunity for growth. $1,000 signing bonus for qualified positions. Call them today. That's Comfort Temp at 352-376-2366. This Day in Sports, back in 1932. I wonder if Buddy was around then. Jimmy Fox wins the AL MVP and Chuck Klein wins the National League MVP. And that's This Day in Sports, brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. And if you're a baseball fan, you got two games today, the Braves and the Dodgers, or the early game, I think around 5 o'clock. And then nightcap, Red Sox and Astros. If you missed it last night, the Titans defeat the Buffalo Bills. It kind of came down to the last play. They ran a quarterback sneak with Josh Allen inside the 10-yard line, and they stuffed them on fourth down. So John says, Oh, Mary says first here on Facebook Live, wait till next year. I will be in my seat the rest of the games. Ha ha. John says, watch Georgia's D line. Everyone gets off blocks. They do, John. There is no question about that. Joe asks, are you calling the Georgia game with Mick? No, I'm not. Lee will be back on the call for that game. I'm just doing the Missouri and the South Carolina game. Joseph says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melon Law, Diabate's comments were intriguing to me. He didn't acknowledge the team had confidence in the scheme. Instead, he said he had confidence in his players. That makes me believe they have lost confidence in Grantham as a team, which shows an effort. Look, I understand that 100%, but bottom line is your job is to go make plays on defense. And I just don't see anybody making plays. I mean, it's that simple. You can talk about the scheme, you can talk about this, that, and the other, but defense is all about being aggressive, and you don't have to think a whole lot defensively. You have your responsibilities, but it's that don't let that guy block me and me go make a tackle, or set the edge and let one of my teammates make the tackle. And I just didn't see that. So whether that's scheme or whatever, still go make a play. Somebody, please go make a play. And Dan says the good old wait till next year of the 70s and the 80s. Yeah, we're at one of those crossroads right now, it seems like, with the fan base and our football program. So it's frustrating. I totally agree with everybody. Never thought we'd be sitting here at 4-3, 2-3 in the Southeastern Conference with only wins over Vanderbilt and Tennessee. And if we play Tennessee right now, I don't know what I would think, although their quarterback is out. I don't know how long he's out. Dan says, I can't believe that's the same guys I watched against Bama. Yeah, that whole Alabama game, I don't know if they fooled us or what. But yeah, it was, you may remember we were down 21-3 and made that comeback and played outstanding. And we all thought, the comments from the team after the game was, we'll see them in Atlanta. But heck, we've lost 2 games since then. Don asked, Shane, when is the new facility going to be done? I want to say probably March is my guess, March or April. That may be too soon. It will definitely help us in recruiting. But again, recruiting is about winning. And if you're winning and you have all the great facilities, kids will come. Well, now we're going to have all the facilities. We're going to be on an even playing field for the first time. But we're not winning games now. If it was when we were going 10-2, those first couple of years, Rick says he overslept. Well, shame on you, Rick. Why isn't Trent on today? I'm letting Trent have the day off because it's his bye week. He doesn't need to be doing anything media related right now. It's his bye week. Let him enjoy it, although they have practice later, I believe, today. His injury, he says it's nothing severe. So he's hoping to be back for Georgia. We shall see. But he's all good. All good. Let's see. There was a question I had here, and I can't find it now. But anyway, tomorrow we'll be joined by JC, obviously. I'm going to try to get Chris Harry on, or also Andy Staples this week. Get Andy Staples' perspective around college football. A lot of crazy things out there. Who he thinks may be the next LSU coach. I got a feeling it's going to be Lane Kiffin. Although if I'm Lane, I try to get the USC job, but supposedly people don't think they would hire him out there, even though it's a new administration. They'd be crazy not to hire him. Joseph says, I'd love to know who was out there with the first team O at QB yesterday. I don't think they practiced yesterday. Look, I think Anthony's going to start. But like I told y'all, we got more problems than just the quarterback position. Those issues at other positions are bigger than the quarterback position, in my opinion. Brandon asked on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melon Law. You made the comment earlier, and I've said it to some of my Gator friends, and that Mullen might be better off with a drop back passer. Well, my point is, obviously I enjoy that because that's what I was. But if you look around the country, let's just say the last 10 national championship teams, most of them were throwers. People could say Deshaun Watson, whenever they wanted at Clemson, he was a pretty good thrower. He could run a little bit. but everybody else has pretty much been a passer. And so I just think that, and you look at how good we were offensively last year under drop back passing. Now, granted, you had two unique wide receivers in Tony and Pitts, but I think that's the best way to beat people in college football is throw the football. So that's just my philosophy, my thoughts. But you're not going to see it. Everybody on the roster right here is a dual threat guy, more run first, pass second. Maybe Kitten, I don't know, but I haven't really seen him do a whole lot. So anyway, we're going to take our second time out of the program. We come back, we'll wrap this thing up. If you got any more questions or comments, please shoot them to us. We appreciate you chiming in. You're watching and listening to Pod Up with Matthews and Morton from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are MB Listing, McDonald's of Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Avera and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Ruse Ogra Agent, State Farm Insurance, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit podupwithshane.com and click the Advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Visor's Tailgate and Rooftop Bar, located on top of Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in Celebration Point, is now open Thursday through Saturday. Visor's covered open-air bar is the perfect place to gather after work or meet up with friends. You'll love the handcrafted cocktails and elevated shareables available every Thursday through Saturday. Visor's Tailgate and Rooftop Bar is perfect for fans of great food, great drinks, and great weather. Visors not required. High spirits are highly encouraged. Visit spurriers.com/visors.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Center State Bank is now South State Bank, but we still put business first. We understand that small businesses need a community business partner that they can rely on. South State still has 4 convenient Alachua County locations. South State Bank, banking forward, member FDIC. We really want to thank Buddy Mark for joining us. Somebody asked a question, are there any dual threat QBs in the country that are great passers? Vince asked that on Facebook Live. I don't follow recruiting, but John answered. The one guy that stands out to me is Caleb Williams, the true freshman quarterback at Oklahoma, can absolutely sling it, and he can move around a little bit. They'll call a run every now and then for him, but boy, can he throw it. Phenomenal passer. So anyway, and then you look at Matt Corral. Matt Corral is a tremendous thrower of the football. He ran way too much. He's hurt now. I don't know if he's going to play against LSU, but he got hurt against Tennessee running the football too much. But he's a tremendous thrower. So obviously that's what I like because that's what I was coached to do. Alan asked, have you ever considered coaching? Yeah, I coached high school ball. I always wanted to coach college ball, but I played too long. And then I was not going to miss my kids' games, dance recitals, all that kind of stuff. So I made sure of that. So anyway, that's today's show, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you tell all your friends to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. You can check out on Twitter now. You can check out the live show as well. Today's show is a wrap brought to you by Wrap Spot. Be safe. We'll see you tomorrow.